Open on the Taskmaster dashboard. Signed out. Click Sign In. The page exists. We wired Sign In back in video 7, but there's still no way for an actual new person to get an account. No sign-up page. No form. The only user in the database is the one we inserted by hand while testing. Try to log in with an email that doesn't exist yet, and watch it fail with exactly the generic rejection we built into Authorize. Correctly, but there's no path forward from there for a real visitor. That's the gap we closed today. We're building the actual registration flow, a sign-up form, a server action that validates and hashes the password, and a proper error path for duplicate emails. Then we wire the login form for real, add uSession so the client knows who's signed in without a page reload, and write actual Next.js middleware so entire route groups are protected in one place instead of an auth check copy-pasted onto every page. By the end of this video, someone can land on Taskmaster cold, create an account, sign in, see their name in the header, and get bounced to /login automatically the moment they try to reach a protected route while signed out. Let's get into it. Why this layer matters. What video 7 left unfinished. Video 7 proved the security model works. Authorize checks a hash, JWT and session carry the user's ID, and a protected route returns a clean 401 without a valid session. What it didn't build was anything a real user touches. There was no form calling that authorize function, no page creating a password hash in the first place, and no client-side way to ask, am I logged in right now, without asking the server. Today is entirely about that missing surface, the forms, the server actions behind them, and the client-side session awareness that makes the rest of the app feel logged in instead of merely gated. Server actions versus the API route. From video 6, signup doesn't need a REST endpoint. It's a form on a page, submitted once, from inside our own app. The exact case a Next.js server action fits best. No route file, no fetch call, just an async function marked uServer that runs on the server and that the form can call directly. The signup form and registration. Step 1. The registration server action. Create a dedicated actions file for auth-related mutations. app:auth. actions.ts. New. Register user server action. Signup. ypage.tsx. New. Login. page.tsx. New. Use server import bcrypt.js. Import Prisma from @lib Prisma. Export async function register user form data. Const email is form data get email as string. Const full name is form data get full name as string. Const password is form data get password as string. Const existing is await prisma.user.findUnique. Where email. If existing, return error. An account with that email already exists. Note. Const password hash is await bcrypt hash password 10. Await prisma.user.create. Data, email, full name, password hash, return success true. The duplicate check has to happen before the hash. Hashing is the expensive part on purpose, so there's no reason to pay for it on a request that's going to fail anyway. Notice, the function returns a plain object instead of throwing. Server actions can throw, but for expected, user-facing outcomes like email taken, a return value is easier for the form to render than an error boundary. Note, the auth folder name is a Next.js route group. The parentheses mean it doesn't add a URL segment. /signup and /login stay at the root path, even though the files live inside app.auth, which just keeps auth pages organized together in the file tree. Step 2. The signup page and form. Use client import useState from React. Import useRouter from Next Navigation. Import register user from .actions. Export default function signup page. Const router is useRouter. Const error set error equals useState. Async function handle submit form data. Const result is await register user form data. If result.error, set error result.error return. Router.push to login. Return. Form action handle submit. Class name flex gap 3. Input name full name placeholder full name. Required input name email type email placeholder email required. Input name password type password placeholder password required. Error NP class name text red 500. Error NP button type submit create account. Pass the server action straight to the form's action prop is what lets this skip a manual fetch call entirely. React calls register user with the submitted form data on the server, and hands the return value back to handle submit like any other async call. Password hashing, revisited. bcrypt.hash and the salt round count of 10 haven't changed since video 7. That choice was already correct. What's new here is the failure mode. What happens when hashing or the database write fails partway through, and what a user sees when it does. Try const password hash equals await bcrypt.hash password 10, await prisma.user.create, data, email full name password hash, return success true, const console error registration failed, error, return error something went wrong, please try again. Note, never surface the raw database error to the client. A Postgres unique constraint message can leak schema details. Log it server-side, return a generic message. The explicit existing email check above already covers the common case. This catch is the safety net for everything else. The login form and session management. Step 1. Wiring the real login page. The login form component from video 7 gets its permanent home. app/auth/login page.tsx. Use client import sign in from NextAuth React. Import use state from React. Export default function login page. Const error set error equals use state. Async function handle submit form data. Const res is await sign in credentials. Email form data.get email password form data.get password. Redirect false. If res.error set error invalid email or password. Return. window.location.href equals /dashboard. Return action handle submit class name flex call gap 3. Input name email type email placeholder email required. Input name password type password placeholder password required error and p class name text red 500 error. Button type submit sign in. Button. Redirect false is the key change from video 7's version. It hands control back to our own code instead of letting NextAuth redirect blind, so a wrong password shows an inline error message on the same page instead of bouncing through a redirect first. Step 2. Session provider and use session server components can call auth directly. But client components, anything interactive, like a header that needs to show a name, need the session wrapped in context first. /app providers.tsx. Use client, import session provider from NextAuth React. Export function providers, children, React node. Return session provider, children. Wrap the root layout with it once, and every client component underneath can call use session. /components navar tsx. Use client, import use session, sign out from NextAuth React. Export function navar, const data session, status is use session. If status is loading, return nav loading. Return session.user email, himport children.navar. Button on click to sign out, a href login, sign in, a note. Status is what makes use session safe to render immediately. It's loading on first paint, then authenticated or unauthenticated once NextAuth resolves the cookie. Skipping that check is what causes the classic flash of a signed out header before it corrects itself. Protecting routes with middleware. Video 7 protected one route by checking auth inside it. That doesn't scale. Taskmaster already has a dashboard, a projects area, and more coming. Middleware checks the session once, before any of those pages even start rendering. Taskmaster, middleware TS, new root level, next to Auth.js. Auth.js. Middleware TS, import .auth from auth, import nextresponse, nextresponse.com. Const protected, dashboard, projects. Export default auth, rec is protected, p as, rec next URL.path name starts with p, if it's protected and not rec auth. Return next response redirect new URL, login, rec next URL. Export const config, matcher, dashboard.pathText, path names. Auth wraps the middleware function the same way it wraps a server component. Rec auth is the session or null. The matcher config is what keeps this from running on every single request. Middleware only executes for paths that match those patterns, so static assets and public marketing pages never pay for a session check they don't need. Note: this replaces the manual redirect.login check we handwrote inside dashboard page in video 7. That page-level check can come out now. One matcher list is the single source of truth for what's protected, instead of that logic living inside every page that needs it. Recap and call to action. Taskmaster now has a real front door, a sign-up form with a server action that hashes with bcrypt and rejects duplicate emails cleanly, a login form that reports a wrong password inline instead of redirecting blind, use session giving every client component live access to who's signed in, and middleware protecting entire route groups from one config instead of a check bolted onto each page. In video 9, we start building the actual product surface behind that login screen, fetching a signed-in user's tasks with a server component and the first server actions for creating and completing them.